Beneath Antarctica's endless white, beneath mountains carved by wind and centuries of silence, there lies another world, one the ice has hidden for millions of years. A lost world of life, of forests, of creatures that time itself has forgotten. I'm your host, Godwin Raffel, and you are watching Ocean Today X. When we look at Antarctica today, we see nothing but emptiness, a wasteland of snow and stone. Yet once, this frozen continent was a cradle of life. Scientists who pierce through layers of ancient ice find whispers of a very different age. Fossils of trees, bones of reptiles, traces of creatures that thrived where no life could survive today. These discoveries tell a story that stretches back over 100 million years, to a time when the world was warmer and the poles were green. Imagine standing here 90 million years ago. There is no ice. The air is heavy with humidity. The ground beneath your feet is soft with moss and ferns. Towering conifer trees stretch toward the sunlight that never truly sets. For even then, the days were long and the nights short in this southern world. Strange cries echo from the forest. The air vibrates with life, insects, birds, reptiles, mammals. It feels like another planet, and in many ways it was. This was the age before the ice, the age when Antarctica was alive. For tens of millions of years, life thrived here. Dinosaurs hunted in the forests. Giant amphibians lurked near rivers. Crocodile-like creatures slid between the shadows. But slowly, the world began to change. The continents drifted apart. Ocean currents shifted. Mountains rose and trapped the moisture. The climate cooled. What was once paradise began to die. The forests fell silent first. The rivers froze. Then came the snow, falling softly at first, then endlessly. And as the cold deepened, the last of the great creatures vanished, leaving behind nothing but bone and stone. Time turned green into white, warmth into silence. For millions of years, the land slept beneath its icy shroud, hiding its history. But ice is not eternal. The Earth remembers, and sometimes it speaks. In recent decades, paleontologists have uncovered frozen fossils of trees with roots still intact, their rings preserved like the pages of an ancient diary. Fossilized leaves, proof that this land once hosted forests as lush as those of modern New Zealand. They found bones of creatures that walked, swam, and flew, evidence that Antarctica was not always lifeless, but teeming with diversity. Each discovery is a key to a locked world, a fragment of a forgotten story. Antarctica is more than a desert of ice. It's a frozen graveyard, holding the remains of ancient worlds. Beneath its glaciers lies the record of evolution, extinction, and survival. And yet, perhaps the most haunting truth is this: Antarctica's fate is not unique. It is a mirror, a reflection of what can happen when the Earth itself changes. A paradise can become a wasteland. Life can vanish in the blink of a geological eye. Beneath this silence, a story waits to be told. The story of the creatures that lived here, thrived here, and perished here. Creatures that remind us that life, no matter how strong, is never permanent. This is not just a tale of extinction, it's the memory of a world that was, and the warning of what could be. Welcome to the frozen graveyard. 70 million years ago, Antarctica was unrecognizable. There were no glaciers, no endless white deserts. Instead, the land was alive, a lush, shadowy paradise where the air hummed with movement and sound. The forests stretched for miles, towering conifers and ferns reaching toward a pale sun. Rivers cut through valleys, their waters clear and warm. In these primeval forests walked creatures unlike any we know today. Dinosaurs roamed freely, some small and swift, others massive and imposing, their footprints pressed into soft mud, now long fossilized. Among them was the Cryolophosaurus, the Elvisaurus, a predator of unusual elegance. Its distinctive bony crest curved across its skull like a frozen wave. Its body, lean and muscular, was built for stalking and hunting. It prowled through forests of ferns and cycads, its keen eyes scanning for prey. Its roar, faintly carried by the wind, must have been terrifying, a reminder that in this ancient world, survival was a daily struggle. Nearby grazed the Cryolophosaurus, a colossal herbivore. Towering over smaller creatures, it moved with deliberate grace, plucking leaves from tall ferns with its long neck. Its presence shaped the landscape. Forests were trimmed and trails worn by its immense weight. And yet, despite its size, it was vulnerable. Predators like Cryolophosaurus were ever present, a constant shadow in its world. The forest was also home to smaller dinosaurs, agile runners, feathered hunters, and early bird-like species. They flitted between branches and shadows, hunting insects or hiding from predators. Even early mammals scurried in the underbrush, tiny and fragile, yet resilient. Every creature played its role in a delicate ecosystem, one perfectly balanced until the inevitable upheaval. Antarctica's position on the globe was changing. Tectonic shifts, volcanic activity, and shifting ocean currents began altering the climate. The land cooled and seasons grew harsher. Food sources became scarce, ecosystems destabilized. Then came the Great Extinction. While the exact cause is debated, an asteroid impact, volcanic eruptions, and climate change all played a role. The outcome was undeniable. The age of dinosaurs ended. Forests fell silent. Predators and herbivores alike disappeared, leaving behind only fossils to tell their story. Even here, at the southernmost edge of the world, life could not escape the forces of change. The bones we discover today, frozen or buried beneath sediment, remind us that no matter how mighty, every empire of life is fragile. Yet Antarctica's dinosaurs were not forgotten. Fossils of Cryolophosaurus, Glacialosaurus, and countless smaller species have been unearthed over the past century. Each discovery paints a vivid picture of a land that defied our modern imagination, a world of giants, hunters, and endless forests at the bottom of the earth. These creatures, long extinct, are still alive in memory. In every fossilized bone, every footprint pressed into stone, they whisper their story, a story of survival, adaptation, and ultimate loss. The age of dinosaurs in Antarctica teaches us that life is both resilient and vulnerable. It thrives in warmth and abundance, but it can vanish when the balance is disrupted. In their bones lies a lesson for our own era, that the world is ever-changing, and that even the mightiest can fade. From the shadowed forests of ancient Antarctica to the icy deserts we see today, the land has transformed dramatically, but the story of its dinosaurs remains, frozen in stone, ready to be told to anyone who dares to look beneath the ice. While the forests of Antarctica teemed with life on land, its oceans told a different story, one of power, predation, and mystery. Long before the ice dominated the continent, the seas were warm, vibrant, and filled with creatures that would challenge any imagination. The waters surrounding Antarctica were deep and dark, but alive. Giant reptiles swam gracefully, hunting with intelligence and ferocity unmatched in the modern world. Among them were plesiosaurs, long-necked aquatic predators that glided through the waves like shadows of the deep. Their enormous flippers propelled them silently, giving them the advantage to strike without warning. Not far behind prowled the mosasaurs, formidable marine hunters. These enormous reptiles were the apex predators of their environment, some stretching over 15 meters long. They dominated the waters with their muscular bodies and rows of sharp teeth, feeding on fish, squid, and even smaller marine reptiles. The oceans were a constant battle of survival, where speed, strength, and cunning determined life or death. Even ancient sharks thrived in these warm Antarctic seas. Their presence added tension to the underwater world, reminding us that life in prehistoric oceans was far from serene. Swarms of fish darted in response to predators, while cephalopods, now mostly small and hidden, once grew large enough to rival the mosasaurs in intelligence and agility. Yet, despite the abundance of life, change loomed beneath the waves. Antarctica's oceans began to cool as the continent drifted southward. Ocean currents shifted, and the delicate balance of the ecosystem was disrupted. Food sources became unpredictable. Species that had thrived for millions of years faced challenges they could not overcome. Over time, the once dominant marine reptiles vanished. Fossils of plesiosaurs, mosasaurs, and other prehistoric predators now rest beneath sedimentary rock, frozen in time. These relics tell a story of abundance, power, and ultimate loss, a reminder that even the rulers of the oceans are not immortal. Among the survivors were ancestors of modern marine species. Some early fish, mollusks, and primitive seabirds adapted to the cooling waters, paving the way for the ecosystems we recognize today. But the giants, the lords of the ancient seas, disappeared, leaving only the faint echoes of their existence in the fossil record. The Antarctic marine kingdom was a theater of extremes. It was beautiful, terrifying, and unforgiving. Life thrived in abundance, yet extinction was never far away. Today, researchers diving into the sediment uncover extraordinary fossils, enormous vertebrae of mosasaurs, the delicate bones of plesiosaurs, and the imprints of ancient fish. Each discovery reveals not only the scale of life that once existed, but also the fragility of the ecosystems that supported it. The story of Antarctica's oceans teaches a vital lesson. Survival is never guaranteed. No matter how strong, how fast, or how well adapted, life is always at the mercy of the planet's changes. The ice may now dominate the continent, but beneath its frozen waves, the memory of the marine kingdom endures. These seas of the past, warm, teeming, and wild, remind us that Antarctica was once alive in every dimension, from forest to ocean, from predator to prey. And though the giants have vanished, their story remains, waiting for us to uncover it beneath the ice. As the forests vanished and the oceans shifted, some life found a way to endure. Even in the deepening cold of Antarctica, new creatures emerged, survivors and innovators, adapted to the icy world that was forming around them. Among these were the giants of the southern seas, the enormous penguins that would dominate the frozen shores. Millions of years ago, long before humans ever walked the earth, penguins were not the small waddling birds we know today. Some species grew to incredible sizes, towering over modern humans. Their bodies built for swimming in icy waters, yet still able to navigate the land. The Colossus Penguin, or Palaeodiptes klakowski, reached over 2 meters tall. Its massive body and strong flippers allowed it to move through the frigid ocean with power and precision, hunting fish and squid. Another giant, Kumimanu biche, rivaled the Colossus Penguin in size. Its bones reveal a bird built for strength and endurance, capable of withstanding storms, ice, and predators that lurked both on land and beneath the waves. These ancient penguins were apex birds in their environment, rulers of the Antarctic coastline. Life in the icy south was never easy, even for these giants. They faced extreme seasonal changes, with months of darkness and limited food availability. Survival required adaptation, the ability to hunt efficiently, conserve energy, and navigate treacherous landscapes. Only those capable of meeting these challenges thrived. The rise of these penguin giants coincided with the decline of other large species. As dinosaurs and marine reptiles disappeared, ecological niches opened. The penguins adapted to fill these voids, evolving into powerful, resilient birds capable of withstanding a world increasingly dominated by ice. Yet even these colossal creatures were not invincible. Over time, as ecosystems shifted and competition increased, the largest penguins gradually disappeared. Fossil records indicate that environmental pressures, changing food supplies, colder seas, and the emergence of new predators led to their extinction. Smaller penguin species, more adaptable and less resource-dependent, survived and gave rise to the penguins we see today. The story of Antarctica's giant penguins is one of resilience and transformation. It is a tale of survival against unimaginable odds, but also of impermanence, a reminder that adaptation is never a guarantee of eternity. Fossils of these giants have been uncovered in icy cliffs and sedimentary rock layers, often astonishing in their size and detail. Scientists have reconstructed skeletons that tower over modern humans, revealing the scale and majesty of creatures that once ruled frozen shores. These discoveries provide insight not only into the biology of ancient penguins, but also into the environmental changes that shaped life on the continent. The giants of the ice are more than relics. They are symbols of evolution's power, illustrating the ways life can innovate and thrive even in extreme conditions. And yet they are also a warning. Climate and environmental shifts can erase even the most formidable species. Antarctica, frozen and silent today, was once home to these towering birds. They remind us that life finds a way, but even the strongest must adapt or vanish. Their story is a bridge between the lush past and the frozen present, connecting the age of dinosaurs to the world we know now.